trying to break their way in.
And we're going to break our way in, it looks like, as we're going to get into it here. Kicking off the day, it's going to be map number 1 on Ruins. We are live, GARPY versus Cypher here, as GARPY makes his way over to the Mega and the rocket spawn. Pretty standard start here, and business as usual as we get the day started.
Yeah, he's got himself a Mega Health. Hasn't used the piercing sight straight away. We do see players a lot like to use it early. But he's decided he's going to save it, waiting to see that second rotation of the major items. If Cypher's going to try any trickery. A lot of things that Cypher could be doing is defending the lightning gun, but he's up in the connector. He misses a rail, so the drop down is going to allow GARPY to force the Ghost Walk straight away. He's going to chase, misses the follow-up rocket, so Cypher slips away. But I like what GARPY's doing in terms of saving the piercing sight immediately to try and have that hard counter. He's not looking for general information, he's looking to make the big plays off of it.
Absolutely, he's putting on the pressure, forcing the Ghost Walk, and then popping the vision, and then just chasing. But Cypher did a fantastic job of slipping away. Great rail there from Cypher, good response from GARPY, trying to find another one here. Cypher playing very defensive here, not giving him an angle.
GARPY has got to be a little bit careful, but he knows that that's slightly smaller stack that Nyx has. He doesn't always have to worry quite as much. But if he takes more than that rail, then he really has to be anxious. Again, he's got that piercing sight saved as and when needed. He is taking quite a lot of damage at the moment. 95 health left. Cypher definitely has an advantage, but it's difficult to approach GARPY in this position. Piercing sight used. He wants to get that extra rail shot to alleviate any pressure in the following items. And Cypher pushes in. Great defensive rocket from GARPY, and he will be able to get that heavy armor. Incredibly important that he landed that rocket at connector.
That was an interesting push there from Cypher. I don't know if he thought GARPY was a little bit further away, trying to push him out with the plasma, but that rocket waiting right in his face there, and that won him everything for the time being. 2 minutes in, 0-0. What a start. Nobody wants to give up an inch on this map.
I mean, I think it comes to when we were discussing it earlier. Are we going to have something really aggressive early on? And I think it's a bit more kind of feeling each other out, waiting to have a sort of reactive play rather than running straight into it. GARPY might put himself in a little bit of trouble here. He's got to get himself out. 45 health left. You can't rocket jump up to get himself the mega health. This is a pretty turbulent moment for him. He might need to use a defensive piercing sight soon, because with this control advantage that Cypher has, he is definitely looking like to take the first kill.
Cypher missing that rail. GARPY staying alive, grabbing the 50 shard out in the courtyard. That's going to help him for a little bit. Still holding on to that piercing sight. Great rail as Cypher comes off the jump pad, trying to find another one, but he can't. A little bit of plasma, and Cypher's going to push in with rockets. 9 HP as GARPY falls down, and he gets taken down by the LG. Cypher puts up the first frag.
It's very interesting that GARPY didn't use piercing sight the entire time. I feel like he maybe would have been able to get away a little sooner. However, he had very good effort. He goes aggressive straight off the spawn. Cypher does take the mega health, and he's going to just
beautiful switch.
Pepper down those machine gun bullets there for
just a little pepper on that stake there for Cypher. That was a perfect switch as he grabs the mega, and now he has opportunity for full control. Ghost Walk is up. 3 seconds till the mega in perfect position. Cypher looking very strong after that first frag.
Okay, good rail from GARPY. That's
I like that
again evening the stacks a little, but there isn't the position for GARPY to get himself over to mega health. So Cypher can really, whenever he fancies, just move back for it. Not going to take any additional damage. And again, he's certainly favorited for the next engagement.
4 minutes just about on the clock here. 2-0, low scoring game. GARPY well within his right to come back on this. Just needs to find the perfect opportunity as Cypher snags the mega and goes up the jump pad. He has perfect time to rotate back to this mega. Great rail there from GARPY, catching him off guard. Cypher actually responds with a rail of his own. Another rail from GARPY, just barely missing out. 2 seconds till the mega. GARPY has the position. The rockets will force Cypher out. GARPY with a great play onto that mega. Now Cypher needs to be careful, and there comes the Ghost Walk. That could have been deadly there.
Could have been very deadly, but this is a big play for GARPY, forcing out the Ghost Walk, now getting a position for the heavy armor. Cypher gonna walk down into rockets, takes a lot of damage, and there's the vertical rail for GARPY. The Brit gets himself on the board. And it looked like Cypher was just trying to keep that pressure going so that GARPY couldn't feel safe at any point. But some great defensive plays we just saw.
Fantastic play by GARPY there as he pops the vision. Looking for a little bit of a shot, a little bit of misplay with the rocket. They're going to take some self-damage and also let Cypher get away. And now he can't really contest for this heavy. He's going to opt for the 50 shard instead, trying to get piercing sight back up as quick as he can. What a rail from Cypher, catching him off guard. As he makes his way down below, GARPY's going to have to make do with that 50 shard in the courtyard. Here comes LG on LG. Cypher's going to get the best of him, 34 HP. How long can GARPY survive as he's fighting for his life here? Cypher just looking for the shot. What a fantastic rocket there. And that forces him away. GARPY doing a great job of staying alive.
That's actually insane from GARPY that he didn't go down just then. He was under so much pressure, and that stray rocket that landed near the bounce pad, unbelievable stuff from him. We've got Heavy up soon. GARPY knows exactly where Cipher is. He's going to try and break it down. He takes a rail shot. There is going to be the heavy armor denied, but there's no extra pressure from Cipher. Maybe a missed opportunity for him, but GARPY is going to take this in his stride and see if he can move himself onto the mega health. Cypher's moving onto it. Rocket will miss, but Cipher drops. No major items being taken. Cipher, he's got such little HP, and there's the rail landing. We're 2 for 2, just past the halfway mark. And what we were talking about, fireworks, 40. It's so even at the start of this important series.
So aggressive. The Mega was up. I don't know. Cipher risking it all, and now it's 2-2 as GARPY takes advantage and hits everything he needs to. He has the vision. He might drop down here on the rail. There's a little bit of a rocket. No damage yet. A little bit of spam there. Great rocket there as he's dropping down, and he wants this kill. There's the LG. Forces out the Ghost Walk. Has the vision to chase this, and this could be dire for Cipher here. And there it is, the LG to finish it off. GARPY takes the lead 3-2.
GARPY is going for this sort of full counter style. Oh, steady on, mate. You can get yourself up there. He's going for this full counter style with the piercing sight, which I don't see a lot of, honestly. People are very happy to use it for general information, but he really is trying to put the hard counter in. And Cipher, over the last couple of minutes, has been struggling versus it a bit.
That's a good rail to start, though. LG on LG here. Cipher going to hold on to it. 68 HP. That's going to force GARPY back. Both players extremely weak. GARPY's going to get a 50 and pop the vision here as he makes his way back to the Mega. Cipher, is he going to contest for this? What a rocket! The prediction right in the face. And Cypher's like, what just happened to me? The rail coming out. Can GARPY find the angle? And right in the feet again, keeping Cipher so low. What a shot by GARPY.
That's an insane rail at the end. There was just a pixel or two.
Right in the boot.
Yeah. And he's not been able to lock down Cipher again, but he's been getting those hourglasses, and the piercing sight's back up in a moment. I wonder if he wants to go on the double play with the piercing sight. He does. He might skip the Mega completely. He goes in for the aggression. He knows he's got more hourglasses, and that rocket is going to seal the deal in this fight. 4-2 at the moment. Mega health is up. Is Cipher anywhere near or able to contest? Not at all. Off the spawn and just get himself the weapons.
GARPY with a great rail, looking so strong, and he's saying, you want my spot? You want my spot? I don't think so. That's a great rail from Cipher, though. A little bit of an LG here. Another rail as Cipher is forced to pop the Ghost Walk. Rounding out to 8 minutes here. Cipher down by 2. All the pressure's on. Here's the Ghost Walk, defensively used by GARPY. The LG comes out. LG on LG, and he gets another frag. 5-2 as the hit gets deeper and deeper for Cipher here.
Yeah, this is now getting to a point where a lot of hard work is needed from Cipher, and very, very quickly. His opportunities to slow the game down might be dwindling, so he needs to make some action happen ASAP. GARPY getting himself onto those little items, but it is helping him out a lot going versus the Knicks. Lightning Gun once again. Can he find a stray rocket to get himself another? Or this rail could be a bit of a game changer. GARPY might have to get out of here, in fact. Wow.
Wow. Peaks again. Cipher can't capitalize, but he will get the heavy. 8:40 on the clock. He needs to find a frag. There it is. What a rail from Cipher down below, and that's going to net him the Mega. Now he needs to go on a tear here. 1:15 left. He needs 2 frags.
This is absolutely possible for Cipher. GARPY took a very dangerous route getting himself up. He's now in a lot of trouble. There's LG to rockets. It's 4-5, and Cipher still has stack to work with.
And that's such an important frag. He got it so fast. He has an entire minute now to try and chase down this last one and send it into overtime here. He's going to find him. There's a rocket. Doesn't land a lot of damage. He's going to catch him out in the courtyard with the LG. GARPY needs to get away. There's a rocket. The defensive rocket's not landing up the jump pad into the rail, and Cipher will tie it at 5 with 50 seconds left.
And right off the spawn, GARPY has the nails. Definitely have to respect that weapon. It's going to allow GARPY to get himself into position of control, so it really looks like the next kill is going to decide map 1. I don't think they're going to go into a fight straight away, and GARPY is going to want to get his piercing sight back before he totally commits to a fight. But he might not have a bit of a choice now. One rocket lands for 43, the follow-up doesn't. GARPY's just working with the nails mostly. Rail misses, and the nails, so many of them just hit.
32 HP. Cipher needs to be incredibly careful here. GARPY dropping back down after the mega pickup, and that string of nails was huge as Cypher's crippled. He's getting what he can, but it looks like we are going into sudden death. First game, first map, Zoot. How fitting. How fitting is this?
I mean, we called it, right? We said how close this is going to be, and everybody is delivering here, but it's certainly GARPY who is a favorite. He used the piercing sight, couldn't get that extra damage. As long as he can hold control, he's going to be feeling good. It's up to Cypher to interrupt that control, but with rockets like this, he does hit one defensively, but now GARPY knows that the Ghost Walk is out, and his piercing sight is up soon. The biggest punishing move for GARPY is if he delivers it in the next 5 to 10 seconds. And with the lightning gun, that's going to be it.
That was such a good play there. Cypher over by that T-Con needing to pop the Ghost Walk early. GARPY grabs all the items and says, all right, I got my vision. It's over.
Yeah. And it was at that connector fight. There was just a little bit of rocket splash going, but it was enough to force the Ghost Walk out. I feel like the heat map of action for Cypher to avoid was around that upper light armor. And GARPY was just like, this is where I think you're going to be. I'm going to come down and chase you.
Look at that smirk, though. That was a little smirk. I saw that. He's like, all right, I got it. I had it. I let it go a little bit. I don't think he's too fussed about it, but that is amazing play from GARPY to stay in it, stay focused. It's so easy to panic, especially when you're in the lead. You give it up, you're tied, you're like, oh my God, how did this happen to me? GARPY stays in it, and he clutches that one out, just like we thought it was going to come down to. Clutches, clutches, clutches.
Totally. And there was a very pivotal point when it did go 5-5 where GARPY could straight away get himself into control of a heavy armor, and he was using the nails, just the nails for a while, and that was enough for him. You know, when he went up the bounce pad and that nail action from top to bottom
came down.
I
think it crippled Cypher to like 23 or 35 HP. It was brutal.
It was really, really brutal. And right at the end, wherever Cypher went on the map, he was in trouble.
Very weird to me. I don't know. The Mega was up. Cypher goes all
in.
Yeah,
agreed.
Very interesting play from Cypher there.
I think he went in expecting to get more out of it, and unfortunately for him, he couldn't. Sorry, Kilson's running past us at the moment.
Yeah, I think he winked at me. Look at this rocket, though. The prediction rocket from GARPY nails him, and he's just... and he ghost walks, too. It's like, you already took the damage. Now I have to ghost walk. You've crippled me. Everything hurts. This is pain. And then GARPY, he's so good at this defensive kind of stuff here, just trying to dance as much as he can before taking him out. A very strong play here. But then Cypher brings it back, goes right for him.
So good.
And I like how he pushes aggressively so he can't give up the teleporter play. This, a little bit sloppy, but into the rail. Perfect. But again... GARPY took it all at the end. Eyes on the prize, LG, and he got the first map. That was so close.
Do you think nerves are coming into play for Cypher? I feel like
I don't think so because he brought it back. I think he brought it back and he had a bit of a misstep, but I think that gave him actually probably a little more confidence. He's like, okay, I was down, I could come back, I got this.
He knows he can do it now,
it's just a little, clean it up a little bit. First map, best of 5, you've got opportunities. Clean it up a little, move forward as we take a look at the stats from that map.
Solid rail, actually. 44% absolutely fine at this stage. Some tough angles that he was going for as well. I mean, the one that comes to light is that pixel well on his boots.
Yeah, right on. Nyx has feet, don't forget. But yeah, I mean, first map of the day is probably going to be a little bit rusty, so I expect that rail percentage to go up as we go further in the series. So
I still think it's not bad, especially when you're going for those tough shots. And we saw 11 mega health to 9 heavy armors for GARPY. I think that means overall, actually, the control was relatively even between the two players. Again, just down to how clutch can you be. Those small decisions, and again, as I said, right at the end when there was no Ghost Walk and Piercing Sight was up, even if Cypher goes up to the light armor, it doesn't matter where on the map he is. He's in so much trouble at that point. You've got to be very creative to be able to get yourself out of it. And that's something I expect Cypher to actually be able to do. Historically, he's been so good defensively to just make himself invisible on a map and to get away from anything. Obviously, when you've got that Piercing Sight coming into play, you've got to have that extra level of trickery. But I think as we go forward, we're going to see a bit more of that from Cypher.
And speaking of moving forward, map number 2 on Awoken. I think we have Ranger and Eisen. Can Cypher clean it up and tie this series at 1? Again, GARPY's Pro League spot on the line here as we're getting into it. Zoot, map number 2. Let's go.
Let's do this. It is Eisen and Ranger. Cypher straight onto the Mega Health. He hasn't got himself onto any of their weapons just yet. But he's managed to get himself into center map very quickly, so it'll be looks like rockets to rail, and then LG will wait a little bit. This next rotation of items is really where it's going to be at to decide how we continue the spree of control. and how we initiate those fights.
Cypher waiting on that rail a little bit, trying to spring a trap. Playing nice and patient. Nothing wrong with that. Drops down on the heavy, looking for an angle through the drive-through window with that rail there. A little bit of a rocket splash, trying to find some information there as GARPY takes a shot, and then he takes a rail. Cypher with a good one right there, gets in on the LG. Wally will be up shortly here. GARPY needs to be careful about the positioning of the Wally. Cypher needs to utilize that as best he can. That's free damage, free information, and it can go a long way.
Even though Cypher hits that early rail, oh, never mind here, we're going to have a fight straight away because the Mega Health is coming up shortly. GARPY's been injured a lot. He's going to struggle to get himself out of here. Rocket jump up. I love the play from Cypher, but GARPY's just a little bit quick. Rail on the sideline. GARPY falls out of line of sight, but Cypher has a big advantage here.
I love that pressure too. He has the stack. He's like, I'm going to hunt you unless you're gone. Takes the angle, misses, but that's fine. He's putting the pressure on GARPY, putting GARPY on notice here. Has a little bit of rocket damage there from below. GARPY getting out just in the nick of time. Cypher was going to drop with the LG and try and fry him there. As now he's just going to wait on the Mega. There's a little bit of tri-bolt. No damage though, so he won't know exactly where GARPY is, but that rocket's going to give him away there. As now he's going to drop down with the LG. LG on LG action. There's the Dire Orb. A little bit of misdirection, and that will be a mutual frag, and I think GARPY won that one. That is a huge, huge play by GARPY there to turn that around and make that mutual.
Yeah, he got some insane damage off onto Cypher. Cypher got a bit distracted by the orb temporarily, and that allowed those extra rockets to come out. So we kind of go back off to an even footing at the beginning. Again, I'm loving the proactive play we're getting from Cypher though, but hang on, GARPY's going in quite hard, and that is going to be the turret doing so much damage. GARPY maybe didn't account for that enough. Cypher's going to take an early lead.
Wally popping off, I'm telling you. Oh, look at this jump over here. The rocket's landing. There's the rocket jump out. And I think Cypher was like, where's my rail? Where's my rail? It's an LG. Oh, no. But still has the lead 2-1. And again, that turret doing so much damage as we saw earlier. GARPY taking the fight and not remembering that it was 2-on-1.
You've got to watch out for Cypher's teammate here. There's going to be another up there. It's going to go down very quickly. Mega will be taken, but that kind of interrupts GARPY's ability to push in on the item. He's going to see if he can defend the heavy, but he might end up just looking for damage. What a rocket. Lightning gun follow-up. The orb's going to allow GARPY to get away. Some defensive damage from the Brit, but Cypher still extends his lead.
Just didn't have the stack, tried to hold him at bay, and Cypher's like, I'm getting this one. 3-1. Cypher looking very strong on the second map here. He wants all of this. As the first map put him on notice a little bit here. He's going to hold that T-Con, again, using that Wally to trap into Banana as he gets the Mega uncontested, and that's going to be huge if he keeps getting these items uncontested.
Cypher's control's been brilliant, actually, for pretty much the entire map, actually. There was that blip with the mutual kill, but otherwise, I think Cypher's been more or less
rocket jump.
Besting that stack, but he goes down into the lightning gun of GARPY, and that is, again, insane damage and aim that we're getting from him. Cypher, again, being so proactive, but maybe the execution is not quite there yet.
Needs to be careful.
I think for this, GARPY might have to get out, but he has just hit 65 damage. If he can land another rocket, then Cypher is in trouble. Machine gun looking good, but there's another turret down. 21 HP, and he can't get the damage on the lip.
He wanted that Mega so bad, but it wasn't worth it. The turret and Cypher waiting patiently there. 4-2, now 4 minutes in. There's the rocket through the telly into LG. Surely he can get this frag. Machine gun to try and pepper him down. Both players so extremely weak. Cypher will grab the heavy. The turret will give him a little bit of information as GARPY tries to escape through the Banana into the LG room. He's going to get caught out. Cypher, is he going to commit? There's a great rocket. Firing another rocket. Both players still so weak. And the string of nails into the orb. Is he going to take it? A little bit of misdirection. The machine gun comes out again from GARPY. And then the Mega will save Cypher. And now GARPY is in such a bad way here. Needs to be so careful. Can the rocket take him out? Decent rocket return there, and Cypher has to work for this one. GARPY somehow staying alive, and he's pushing in, but finally, the rocket takes him down, and Cypher took so much damage out of that.
I gotta say, GARPY has absolutely no fear at all. His positioning when he's low on health is very scary at the moment, because he's always willing to fight. We've got a fight over here at the Mega Health. The lightning gun from GARPY is incredibly strong. It looks like he's going to win the item. He's going to push in to get himself onto 3. Cypher's always expecting GARPY to back off at a certain point, but GARPY's not playing by the normal rules. Oh, the rockets, he hits a direct at the end. Orb to follow up. And he's going to try and rocket jump in on it. That almost actually worked out for him, strangely enough, but otherwise he does get himself that center map position, still has items to work with, and has a small control advantage over Cypher. His position is very good, though, obviously, for Mega Health now.
Just absolutely incredible here. Still an extremely close game as we're past the 5-minute mark. Cypher up by 2. Wally dealt with immediately by GARPY. He's trying to suss out exactly where Cypher is, going for that heavy. That's going to be a free pickup. Almost getting a little bit of damage to that drive-through window there. Rail out. Trying to find this. There it is. There's an opening rail and a follow-up, and Cypher has no HP, needs to escape to Banana, but nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. GARPY frags him 4-5. Needs to deal with that Wally pretty quickly, and there it is. And now GARPY in a great position to take full control here. 10 seconds to the heavy, and he's got such a huge stack.
Yeah, that's what's so scary. He got that kill with a huge stack and kept all of it. This is terrifying for Cypher at the moment. He needs to find a way to get out of here. Going in fast with the lightning gun. Loses a lot of his armor, but he's got the heavy to back up on. Now we can try and push once again. Cypher has picked up a couple of resources, looking for the defensive shots himself. It's some brilliant rocket to rail action from him. And Cypher gets away, makes a small play before he challenges for this next mega health. Oh, never mind. Cypher actually took that away from him, so we've kind of evened out a fair amount, and Cypher might take an edge on control if he gets that light.
It's incredible to see how GARPY went from just fat stacks like a rapper to nothing. Has to take care of the Wally. There's the rail. Needs to be careful. Tries to find one of his own. Can't find him. And Cypher will take advantage and hit everything 6-4. What a great rail from Cypher right there.
It's all about that defensive damage. GARPY was so aggressive, but Cypher countered everything. And now he gets the clean frag, so he might be able to extend his lead even more in these closing instances. But it's the reverse of what we just saw. We saw 2 rails in a row from GARPY. Hasn't got anything extra to offer. Orb comes in, a little bit of missed damage, but he's got Cypher pretty low. GARPY has to watch out for his own health and armor, being at about 50.
I love the plays from GARPY. He uses the Dire Orb, and I don't think he's taken it once. I think he's maybe taken it once this game. There's the LG push, the rockets from GARPY. Are they going to be good enough? And they are, as he explodes Cypher against the wall. GARPY's going to double back into the Mega. 6-5, 2.5 remaining. This is so incredibly close, similar to the first map. Can GARPY bring it back?
Yeah, it's absolutely war over here. And GARPY's going to be very focused on getting this next heavy armor. He's got to watch out for the aggression. Cypher didn't get himself onto the light immediately. He'll take a small amount of damage afterwards. Aggressive push. Got to watch out for that turret. It's going to do damage. He's got to make sure he moves away from the angle of it. And he is going to be able to tie the game up. We're 6 for 6 at the moment. That felt so dangerous for GARPY with the turret being there. He's not paying attention to it, but he just braves it through with some good movement forward.
Absolutely fearless there. The rocket's going to be good from GARPY, but he almost gets knocked off the map. There's the Dire Orb. Again, the misdirection. That's going to save his life, but no Mega to be found for 15 seconds as he escapes into the Banana. Cypher smells blood, but both players extremely weak. Cypher did great damage over there.
Cypher's over on the other side, so he can't actually get the heavy straight away. And I think, yeah, GARPY just takes a look and he's like, right, are we still fighting for this?
It's like, is this free? There's another Wally, though. GARPY takes the exit. There's a great rail from Cypher right onto the Mega, though. So GARPY luckily has that to his advantage, but 120 left, 6-6.
It's mind games now. It's really the mind games. And very smart for GARPY to not go into the lightning gun room because Cypher was setting up a trap then.
Wow. Poor Wally. Wally. Great rail there from Cypher. And he just leaves, and he's going to go to the heavy. There's a great rail from GARPY. There's the Dire Orb. There's the rockets. Almost a bit of a sandwich there as the LG comes raining out. There's a rocket jump, and what a denial of the 50 shard. GARPY with the read, the rocket jump, and the frag. 6-7, 45 seconds left. Can Cypher bring this back?
That's insane there. Again, the aggressive plays from GARPY. He hasn't got any fear in this series. He's got to watch out on control. He's sitting on the Mega Health at the moment where we've got heavy next. Looks like he's figured it out. Hits a good rail shot. Is he going to go full defensive mode? That's what I'm wondering, because Cypher's going to be more than happy to go aggressive. He has no other choice. Lightning Gun's going to push Cypher away. Mega Health's not up for a second. GARPY will take it. Did lose where Cypher was for a moment, but it's 15 seconds and there's going to be another rail. 8-6 for Maestro GARPY.
Wow, he even popped off a little bit there. He took his foot off the gas there in Banana as the British Bulldog looks like he's going to put up his second map, and this is brutal. This is starting to be a little bit heartbreaking for Cypher.
These
are still extremely close.
The games are absolutely amazing at the moment. I feel they're both playing at such a great level. The only big defining feature from it is just that GARPY seems a little bit more fearless. I really think that's all it is. In some of these fights when it looks like a normal player should back away, he stays in on these kind of off angles, these wide peaks, and Cypher's not quite ready for that and landing the damage to punish it.
As you mentioned before, it's like, you should be backing off. Why are you pushing? I don't have the right weapon. I'm not ready for this. And then, yeah, he gets the frag. We saw that amazing, beautiful read at the 50 shard near top of T-Con there earlier. And yeah, this game, again, a bit of a heartbreak for Cypher, but he's getting close. Again, it's just little things that add up. And I believe that he could bring this back. I think third map is going to be Corrupted, we're going to get into.
Yes.
So still a lot of opportunities. The rail's not there, so it's going to be all rockets, all LG, and it's going to reward, I think, a solid aggressive play, which, I mean, we've seen GARPY do really well so far.
Oh, totally. This play here was interesting. GARPY was not expecting that turret to come out once again, or the wall E, as you're saying.
The wall, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You did it.
But I think after
that play right there, even that,
was
the
so
fact
aggressive.
that GARPY did it, he had such low HP, it caught Cypher off guard, and it almost netted him a frag right there.
Yeah, and it's the way that he was really adamant that he didn't want to let Cypher get a kill easily with a lot of stack left. I think there was one instance where Cypher managed to get himself one, still holding strong control, but both of them were so good at tearing apart control from each other.
Absolutely. It's just insane. I think the rocket jump's coming. There's the rockets up against the wall here. But again, the rocket jump read was just so absolutely brutal there.
Yeah. And I think Cypher's got to be careful going into GARPY's rockets. Maybe he has to give a tiny bit more respect to
this
those
one
rockets.
Right here.
Yeah, this was...
He's like, no, this is mine. Right, it's just...
He had to be that quick as well, because otherwise Cypher gets those extra resources. You never know what kind of differences it makes when you get into a fight there. And
look, is that a dejected look? Is that a focused look? I mean, what are you feeling when you're Cypher right now?
He's got to be thinking, because let's talk about the reality of the situation here. He's got to win the next 3 straight maps if he wants to get himself into QPL.
Yeah.
He is one map away from losing that opportunity, and I think the grandiose nature of this we can't undersell, basically.
I mean, I don't want to say that you were wrong, but the rail actually went down. But it doesn't matter. GARPY won it. I didn't say it. I said that I wasn't going to say that. It's fine. But GARPY's looking so strong. The British Bulldog, he's not giving up his spot. He's like, I don't know what you think this is. I know that you're a champion. I know that you're a legend. This spot is mine. And he's going to put his stamp on it, potentially, on Corrupted, keep the third map and say, it's mine forever.
So I believe we've got BJ versus Anarchy there.
That's going to be interesting.
According to the statisticals that I'm working with here.
Running the numbers,
BJ,
the
GARPY,
graphs.
Anarchy, Cypher. Assuming this, what do you make of that?
So Cypher on Anarchy is always interesting. I wonder how he's going to use the inject. If he uses it aggressively, if he's going to save it more for like passive mid-fight kind of stuff, or if he's just going to say, I'm going to cycle heavy, I'm going to use inject, and then I'm going to kind of give up the mega because I don't really want to deal with it. It depends on how he wants to play it.
I wonder. So normally I'd say Rocket's going to be a big feature to go versus Anarchy, but I think the Super Shotgun is going to play a very big role here.
Oh, its Super Shotgun can tear you apart on this map. It could be huge, and it could be everything here. As we are getting into it, map number 3, Corrupted Keep. Can Cypher stay alive in this series, or did GARPY defend his spot for Quake Pro League properly? As Cypher moving his way over to the heavy now. Plasma, shotgun, rockets, everything he needs. GARPY playing the middle of the map now. Trying to figure out exactly where he is. There's a quick rocket fight here. Nothing really landing for both players except for down under. Cypher with a great rocket from below.
Yeah, and pretty starved of resources at the moment. We're going to get the dual wield out for just a second. That will take away some of the health and armor that Cypher had, but he's got a lot to work with. But is he going to hit his shots? That's the next question, as Cypher takes all of that damage, giving nothing in return.
And GARPY's going to be able to get on to the Mega. Cypher is going to have to be okay with the heavy here. Good little rocket there as he gets an LG of his own. Doesn't have inject quite yet, though. A little bit of LG tickle there. GARPY getting caught off guard. There's a great rocket and a follow-up, and Cypher is just brushing his nose a little bit. He's like, yeah, that was easy.
No, that was a very good push. He had a good stack advantage. He's doing way more damage than GARPY in the first minute of the game. And putting him into the negatives is always a good feeling. You know, if there was any feelings of doubt settling in from the first 2 maps where he didn't get the results he wanted, this is going to start putting a smile on his face. But there is work to be done.
Still a lot of work to be done. Map at a time, minute at a time. Cypher trying to avoid these rockets here, but he's going to get caught up by 1, maybe 2 there. As GARPY's fearless, and the LG will keep him at bay. Does have inject if he needs it. He's going to use a rocket, get floated up, and finally using the inject. Cypher trying to hold on to the resources a bit too long. There's the LG on LG. That's going to net him the frag. GARPY doing so much damage, but that inject bailed him out.
Yeah, it was very good damage from GARPY, but he maybe got a little bit over-aggressive. Cypher's got some okay stack to work with. He might have a 2-frag advantage, but I don't think he can really hold the momentum more. GARPY's around the corner, he pushes in quite aggressively. Small rockets from Cypher, and he gets pushed back hard with only 21 health. There's the health bubble.
Good dodge there.
And with Anarchy, you can build those leads just as fast as you can lose them, because if you don't have that full control, sometimes it can be quite difficult to hold your own. Let's see if GARPY can punish at all. At the moment, we've got an even items, but look at that dual wheel super shotgun doing a ton of damage. LG comes out, 16 health to go for Cypher, but GARPY calls it quits for a moment.
GARPY's going to let him survive, as I don't know how Cypher survived. The dual shotgun absolutely tearing him apart, but a port? A port, yeah. He's like a ship. It's like a port.
I like it.
But Cypher with the LG now as GARPY drops down. The heavy's going to be right at his disposal, but not going to grab it, and that's going to be huge for Cypher as the inject comes out, and he cuts him off at the Mega. There's a rocket and another one. 3 to -1 for Cypher. Can he go on a run here? Can he catch him off? Oh, I thought he was going to catch him off the spawn. That would have been another frag, surely.
Yeah, that's been a huge string of plays just then from Cypher, starting to build that momentum a little bit. There's a small split between the items, enough for an Anarchy to get away with it. He's going to respect the nails, and GARPY's going to give up one more, 4 to -1. Major items coming in. What's GARPY going to do about this? Does he want to get in his way? Can he block off that mega health and stop this spree of control? He'll be able to, but that heavy machine gun damage, that was what, 75 stripped away in a second?
Yeah, the heavy machine gun's so powerful on this map. You see both players peppering each other from a distance here. But I think GARPY needs to try and chip away when he can and maybe use dual shotgun again and push in like we saw earlier. He didn't get the frag when he tried it, but he did such an incredible amount of damage. But Cypher's looking so strong right now. Has inject, has rockets. Machine gun comes out. This is a perfect swap here as he does get peppered down to 70 HP. GARPY's going to stack back up off the Boneyard health, but Cypher's going to grab this heavy. And again, he still has inject if he wants to use it.
Yeah, if he fancies getting aggressive, I think it's more like if he lands a good rocket, then he'll inject and run in. Otherwise, he can save it for eternity for something more defensive. There's some more rockets for him, just getting the spam out, looking for information. I think he just heard the bounce pad, so the intel has been provided. Tribolt not going to hit the mark, so small amount of damage coming out from GARPY, but he's not really close enough to challenge for this heavy armor, so Cypher will get those resources. The mega health will go over to GARPY, and he's going to have to start finding a way to get into this game pretty soon. He's struggling to get that armor at a good level at the moment.
Cypher doing a good job of not taking any fights he doesn't need to, switching to machine gun. And whenever GARPY tries to pepper him, there's a rocket. Ooh, with a dodge on that one there. There's a little bit of rocket. GARPY might go in on this. There's another rocket. Cypher with some good dodging here. Switches to the Tribolt. Does have the inject at his disposal. He's going to be able to get in some LG on GARPY right before the Mega. And he's going to choose to go to the heavy. And these frags are huge for Cypher right now.
I think Cypher's domination of heavy armor for the last, I can't even count how many rotations, is doing him so many favors. GARPY has to interrupt that. Heavy is so good for an Anarchy when you've also got that injection to work with it. Dual wheel, lightning gun. Can Cypher do anything about this? He's got the mid-air, which managed to get a mutual kill. What a shot from Cypher. But GARPY's off the negatives. That's a silver lining for him.
And he's got a pretty good spawn. That rocket from Cypher, though. That follow-up as well. I thought GARPY was going to be able to get an LG kill right there, but Cypher hitting 2 great rockets there. There's a great rocket from GARPY. Is he going to chase this? Good defensive rocket and LG from Cypher. Is he going to be able to get this one? Very weak. Both players.
Wow.
Cypher wins it out. 7-0, looking so strong. 6 minutes in, and GARPY's got to be a little frustrated. Time's ticking. He's got to get moving.
He's got to be able to finish the job on some of these. Cypher shows his face for a moment. GARPY actually properly on the board. This is definitely possible for GARPY, but I'm very curious how Cypher's going to approach this. Does he want to go full defensive? Apparently not. He throws himself at GARPY, and that's going to just be forfeiting his life. Now we've got a sort of item differential on timings, which is very favorable for GARPY. This is really, really dangerous for Cypher. That's going to be one more going to GARPY.
GARPY going on a tear here. Cypher needs to be careful. Needs to be very careful with his next move as he's waiting for the rockets, and he knows. He doubles back towards the heavy. GARPY smelled him, almost got him caught out here. 7-3, his time still ticking away, but GARPY looking a lot stronger now that he's put those frags on the board.
Yeah, and in terms of the kind of milestones you're looking to reach, at what time, he's been hitting them at the moment. It's up to Cipher to be a bit more defensive, be very careful with his positioning. Going towards the lightning gun is so dangerous for Cipher. Garpy's going to find him. Lightning gun, the amount of damage he just managed to deliver. He has to start thinking about the items once again. 5 seconds until the mega health. And there's going to be a drop possibly. He kind of has to go for it. He really needs to continue the control of 2 major items. And Cypher's not going to get in the way of this. A small extra delay, but that helps with the sweet spot of timing. Push in with dual wield. This should be another for GARPY. Wow. 4-7 at the moment, and right off the spawn, he might find him.
Ooh, he could have been a little bit more aggressive, I feel like, off that one, but he still has time, didn't want to overcommit, wanted to get some more resources here as GARPY just firing some rockets, trying to find some free information here. He's going to be able to hatch an egg on the Mega, and Cipher trying to get some nail damage in, swap to the Tri-Bolt, but the Mega's right there, so it's no big deal for GARPY. 2 seconds until the Heavy. GARPY is looking very strong here. It's only 3 frags, 2 minutes.
That's a huge play for Cipher that he managed to get himself with the Heavy. Good damage from GARPY, but I feel like Cipher wins the situation overall still.
Yeah, that was a huge steal from Cipher there. He needed to get back in on some items.
It was the mismovement on the Mega Health, and that cost GARPY 2 seconds, and that's enough to shake things up. And I was very scared Cipher may not have gone for the Heavy, but that could have just been a game-winning play for Cipher.
Minute 50 left, still up 3. It's very, very possible. Here's the rockets raining down from the British Bulldog here. Swap to LG. Can Cipher be able to win this with the shaft? And he will. His is longer and stronger, and the friction was on her. As Cipher, 60 HP, a little bit of an inject there. Down from below, he's going to make GARPY float as the dual wield comes out, and it's going to be a bit wasted. He's going to be able to swap to machine gun and make it work. And that is a great weapon switch from GARPY there, not trying to force the LG battle. 8-5, a minute 20 on the board. GARPY needs to get going.
Yeah, the push into dual wield. Small questions there. GARPY didn't go to the Heavy, and he's just given it up. That is a big win for Cipher. GARPY was trying to be proactive, but he may have ended up losing out in a big situation then.
And I think with the minute left, you just play defensive as Cipher. You save your inject and you just pray. GARPY needs to go on a full frontal assault here. And with that machine gun work, just chipping away. And Cipher, look at him. He's just like, I'm sitting on the windowsill. You got to come get me, so figure it out. GARPY, the pressure is on here. He's going to have dual wield back. Heavy's going to be at his back right now, and he's going to be able to move on. But with 40 seconds, 3 frags, this is going to take perfect play from GARPY.
Absolutely. I think he's locked down where he is, but that is going to be dual wield fully avoided from Cipher. And now he should be able to have like a one-on-one fight. His LG's got to be very, very good. Out of ammunition for GARPY. Heavy machine gun's going to be a big weapon for him, but we're running out of time. It looks like Cipher is inching his way closer to a map on the board. So important he gets that done.
This was huge here. 10 seconds left, a little bit of rocket damage, but it's going to mean nothing here as Cipher puts himself on the board. 8-5 is going to be the score on this one. An absolutely necessity for Cipher there to stay alive, and that's huge.
Yeah, he needed that, and I think we would have been incredibly perplexed if we didn't get more maps.
Yeah, I would have probably cried a little bit. I mean, that would have been a sweep. That GARPY would have felt amazing, but Cipher has some life in him, woke up a little bit. Maybe awoke and did it. Maybe that helped him wake up. You see what I did there?
I see what you
did
there.
But corrupted under the belt for Cipher, and we're going to get into Blood Run next, and that map might be just slow sailing for both players. We'll see.
Are we getting into typical Cipher? Because if it's typical Cipher, he makes a full comeback.
We could.
This is kind of how
within the realm of possibility.
It's how he energizes himself, you know.
He just likes to be like one step closer to elimination and then bring it back.
Yes, precisely. I think this.
That's very dangerous. I don't like that. I'm not a gambling man. I don't like that at all. But Cipher made it work.
It works so well for him sometimes, but again, his back is going to be up against the wall the entire time still, and I mean, this game had pretty much everything in it. Cipher was at risk of being...
That mutual was gorgeous.
Cipher was at risk of being a bit too over-aggressive when he was out of control, but still had a big lead. But it was that ability to transfer back onto the Heavy and being able to keep that away for GARPY a few times in the last 2.5 minutes. I think that's really what sealed the deal for him, because then he had that confidence going into these aim fights.
I really like GARPY's weapon switch there. That was so good. He's like, I can't get down. If I drop into the LG, I'm going to get toasted. Machine gun swap. Absolutely beautiful, but not quite enough. As we see the stats from that map, Cipher doing his best, staying alive, gonna get into Blood Run, and I don't know, do or die. It's just do or die the whole time now, but all the pressure's on, and like you said, Cipher might be actually benefiting from the pressure.
Yeah, he's not a stranger to it at all. But nor is GARPY. However, maybe does he doubt himself a little bit? You still got to have that mental fortitude no matter what. It's not necessarily the anxiety, but it's that self-belief too. And yeah, it's time to deliver here. I think GARPY would have been quite confident on Corrupted Keep as well, so I don't think he's going to be shaken, but he certainly could have seen a 3-0 going into that map, because I know he's very, very good there. But going into Blood Run, this is a map that I think Cypher's going to be more comfortable with. Historically, this is a map that GARPY wouldn't ever really pick himself. He's no stranger to it. But we're going to have to see where it's at as we go into map 4 of this series. This is the first series of the day. It's been total chaos. It's been amazing. Are we going to see the end of it here, or will we get a tiebreaker?
I want 5 maps. We have Sorlag and Scalebearer here. Very thick match on Blood Run here. Cipher with the early 50 shard denial. Waiting. And there it is. The nails, so much damage, and then here comes the spit into the LG. The bull rush comes out from GARPY, trying to get away, trying to stay alive, and somehow stays alive for the time being. I don't know how that happened.
There's some Morris dancing going on around there. He was all the way around. They did the full clock face down by railgun spawn. And that's a lot of control for Cipher. There's going to be a lot of speed for him, and for GARPY, he hasn't got an ability up. He hasn't got any armor as a heavy champion. He's kind of getting himself a light. That's not enough. Cipher needs to fight now, but he has to be careful. These defensive rockets and these choke points, this is what can make it difficult to be aggressive on this map.
He's going to break on through the other side. There's the defensive rockets from GARPY, warning him again. Are you sure you want to do this here? Cipher trying to make his way in, uses the spit to push him through the telly. There's the 50 shard for him. Heavy's going to be up next, and it looks like he's going to make the teleporter play, and that is going to open it up for GARPY to take both items, and just like that, blink of an eye, control goes to GARPY. That's
insane, actually, from GARPY. Brilliant timing from him, and being able to execute on that to get both major items. Oh, this could be an interesting trap. A little bit of a bait here, and he hears it. Gives himself up.
So smart. So smart.
The awareness from Cipher there, incredible. We've got major items coming back up. Cipher going to have heavy. This time we're going to get a split as GARPY gets the mega health. GARPY's still struggling a little bit with his armor. But with 2 such speedy, tanky champions, we've still got no first blood here.
I still can't believe GARPY survived that first fight, but he may not be as lucky on this one here as he's trapped in the Batcave. Cipher just looking for an opening here. GARPY's got to dance all day. There's the bull rush. Wow, the nails come out and finally do the deed, but Cipher down to 5 HP barely survives. That was so close.
That was insane how close it was. I do not know how GARPY did that much damage. Gets a rail. One more rail, actually, and Cypher's in trouble. He has to rocket jump away just to get that speed going for him. I respect it.
I would be so nervous trying that. Rocket jump, and then you take your frag lead away, and you're like, everybody saw that. So much nail damage into rockets. Cipher with great defensive play there as GARPY just runs into a string of nails into the rocket. And that's going to hurt. Poor Scale.
Yeah, those nails were amazing, actually. He must have done 150 damage at least. We have got a heavy for GARPY. Rocket not going to hit too much. He's going to just bull rush down. Doesn't take a lot of damage from the, 60% absorption?
Yeah, really, really good use of the bull rush there to get both items. There's a little bit of rockets from Cipher eating a rail. Needs to be careful, needs to try and get out here. He's going to dance all day. There's the LG, the spit defensively, and the swap to rail for GARPY. Nets him the frag. What a shot.
Great work from GARPY. Cipher just could not find his way out. Not sure if he heard the bounce pad then, but we have got the heavy up in a second. GARPY will take that comfortably. It's a nice little rotation for him, and that's going to be, yeah, get out there, Cipher. This is a very unusual matchup with Scalebearer and Sorlag on Blood Run. I feel like we haven't seen this in a while.
I don't think so. I've seen scale from other players on this map, specifically one player of note in this league that did a fantastic job at QuakeCon, but we won't talk about that right now. 2-1 for Cypher, as the spit will be back up momentarily. GARPY has the bull rush, and he has position on this heavy. Is he going to bull rush down again? Cypher down below, trying to get a little bit of LG damage. There's the bull rush, there's the spit. GARPY needs to be careful. He's a little bit too early for this mega. There's the fight here. No rockets, LG on LG, as Cypher takes so much damage, misses with the rail on the escape. Almost gets railed himself. So brave to peek again. Needs to be careful not to get caught out. Another misrail from Cypher, and he's still got 25 HP.
GARPY's trying to cover all the bases there, but just can't prevent him at the teleporter exit. Will you find him on the exit? He's right behind him. There was possibility of a rail then. We got Tribal. I won't do too much. Cypher still, we've got the shotgun out. He pushes down, but there's a rail miss there. He has to switch to the right weapon, and GARPY makes the whiff, and Cypher extends the lead.
He had no health. That was incredible. Cypher hitting that rail 3-1, 430 in. Wow. All of these fights come down to 10 HP or less.
It's insane. I think GARPY's going to be furious with himself, but, you know, Cypher, he's holding on. He's hitting the damage. He's clutching it out. And he's rightfully got himself in that 3-1 position.
No better place than here, no better time than now. 3-1 for Cypher as he's still fighting to get into this Pro League. GARPY trying to defend his spot as we hit the 5-minute mark here. Spit is gone from Cypher. There's a great rail though. GARPY crippled, 50 HP. Needs to be careful with his next moves here. He's going to grab the 50 shard in the tele room, but he needs to be careful not to teleport too quickly. Cypher waiting in the nail room patiently.
He's going to hear him coming around as well.
Oh, this is a perfect trap. Rocket into LG. The bull rush has to come out. So much damage, and there's nowhere to run for GARPY. 4-1.
He's not doing any extra DPS there to Cypher during that entire period, so it makes it really, really tricky. Cypher checking down below. There's 2 major items up. Fake little jump. GARPY shows himself a bit more.
Great rail.
Tri-bolt is actually hurting a lot. There's the rocket jump. Shotgun is a very good weapon switch, but GARPY is having to invest another life into that. That means it's going to give him more work to do now in the remaining 4 minutes.
Cypher doing such a great job. Can he keep it up? 4 minutes left. 5-1. GARPY has a long road ahead of him if he wants to try and get back. There's a good start, really good start, but the nails from Cypher, these rails from GARPY, the dinosaur tails from Cypher. I don't know what to say, Zoot. I just keep rhyming. It's terrible. 5-1, 4 minutes. Cypher not looking that healthy. GARPY has a little bit better of a stack, but now with the heavy, it looks really, really good. Bull rush is available. There's another great rail, 11 HP. Cypher's going to have to go running. Not even going to grab the 50 shard. Needs to get out of dodge.
Yeah, he could be running like this for a little bit of time. He managed to find himself a light armor on the side and avoids GARPY. That's going to make him feel a lot better to have picked up all of that. But GARPY's going to move in. That's a lot of spit damage. He has to find himself on a health bubble straight away, and he can't do it. Mutual frag is out. He hit all of that acid damage as he was running to him.
He's like, if you're going to jump in my face, I'm going to spit on you. And Cypher played it perfectly. 6-2, still has the lead. Needs to be careful, though. GARPY has already shown in this series that he could bring it back, so Cypher needs to take all 3 minutes to play perfectly to close this one out.
Yeah, with that air control, I mean, I want to say it's easier for him to be defensive. I don't know if it is versus scale. I think he's got to play very carefully the whole time. The bull rush is something he's been avoiding really well.
Rockets from above. Is he going to try and make the jump over the heavy? There's the spit, trying to get a little bit of dot damage on GARPY. Cypher just waiting down below, trying to find any kind of rail angle, but more importantly, he's eating away at the clock, and that combination, wow, Tri-bolt in retaliation, but Cypher did the damage. There's the fake rocket jump. Heavy still up, and it will be claimed by Cypher. 2 minutes, 30 seconds, and Cypher still has a 4 frag lead, as now he's just zipping through the map here. Looking a little more confident here. Not afraid to get caught out as the stacks are about even. All the pressure on GARPY as he's holding that shotgun position up top.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure for him, and he's got to somehow worm his way into at least contesting that control. There's the mega up. Looks like Cypher forgot about it momentarily.
Tactical play.
He's moved away from the heavy for a second. GARPY gets that item unreturned. There's a small in now for the Brit. What can he do with this opportunity?
He needs to get going as soon as he can.
Yeah, right.
Cipher is just well aware that he can play defensive. There's a little bit of rocket damage into the spit. GARPY can't really take that path. And this is looking more and more dire. And he's going to drop into the bull rush. Can the rockets fall off from GARPY? And he does. What play was that? 11 HP. GARPY survives and grabs the Mega.
That was insane what he just did. He got the bounce up with the bull rush. He hit a mid-air as well. At least one mid-air. Unbelievable place. He's going to find him once again. Rocket's not hitting too bad. Looking for the shotgun damage.
Can't do it. The nail's too strong. GARPY, that's going to be a heartbreaker, but he still has a minute 10 left to get 3 frags. But Cipher doing a great job of staying alive in that position.
He's hiding as well. He's hiding at the moment. Up the staircase by rockets. Is he going to show his face? I think GARPY might hear him too. He's got all the weapons to work with. He has to push hard, and he's just running. But has he missed that chance again? So much stack. He's looking for any hiding spot he might be in. But you've got to force those respawns ASAP, and you've got to somehow get yourself a clean frag. And if he goes down the staircase, he finds him. But now Cipher can do what he does best, play that defensive game here on Blood Run. And GARPY knows that the game is difficult.
Sees a glimpse of the Mega, drops down with the rocket jump. There's the defensive bit. Bull rush comes out. Can he catch him off the pad? There's a rocket. Needs to find another one, and he does. 22 HP, but with 20 seconds, 2 frags. I don't think he can do it. I think this is going to be very close. There's no way Cipher gives up another one.
There's maybe one, just maybe, but there's too much work for GARPY to do here in these 10 seconds. Cipher done so much in this map. Looks to be securing himself another and putting us onto that tiebreaker that you've been waiting for, 40.
We did it.
GG.
5 maps. Cipher takes the second 2. And a little bit thirsty after that comeback, and well-deserved.
It's thirsty work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It tires you out, it makes you thirsty, but we're going to map number 5 just like I wanted. Again, signs of life from Cipher, or maybe a little bit of fatigue from GARPY.
Yeah, there's been a couple of very small slip-ups. What was it with the shotgun? There was a play really near the start which would have allowed GARPY to make the game head-to-head from probably the second minute, but I think he misread the fact that he didn't have rockets, tried to switch to a shotgun, but switched to something else instead, and it allowed Cipher to escape with a kill with about 20 health to go.
Yeah, some of these fights, again, the whole series has been 10, 20 HP.
I think it was this one there. We saw GARPY's head go down. I think he was pretty aggravated to have not done that.
This, just a bull rush to get away and just a beat of lightning. Absolutely incredible there. There's no way to run from Cipher, especially with the LG out. And then that, just jumping into his face. Sorlag's so powerful with that spit, just gets melted. Brutal, absolutely brutal. This was peculiar.
This was really weird.
I don't understand that drop down at all. But in the end, it didn't really matter. Wow,
well, without the bull rush hitting him, I think Cipher would have got that. But he was just suspended in the air, and then GARPY's like, brilliant, a big target, rockets, my favorite.
This is delicious.
Yeah.
It's like a tea cake.
So what we doing right here? We're going to Molten. I got to say straight away, this is the map that GARPY's played the most through stage 1.
So he has history. You're saying he's experienced.
I saying he has Molten Falls firmly written on his
More
Quake
importantly,
resume.
He's playing my boy. He's playing Keel.
Yeah.
I love that pick. We got DK coming out of Cipher. It's going to be an interesting one. There's
yes.
a couple places you can trap with the flames, mostly heavy. That is an absolute cesspool if you get trapped out of heavy armor and you get hit with the flame strike. But again, Keel has those pineapples that he can utilize. Bigger target on this map, so the rail might actually work against him a little bit, depending on if Cipher takes those long angles. But it really depends on how these players decide to play their game.
I think it's very difficult to push into a Keel as well, no matter what champion you are, because of that extra DPS. Especially, okay, Molten's a very big map, open map, but you do have your choke points. You've got your corners, like you've got over at the railgun area. There's some dangerous spots that Cipher needs to look out for. And speaking of which, we've got the players ready now for our tiebreaker. This map is going to decide who is going to be in QPL for the next stage and who is going to be out. Let's get into this.
Cipher, GARPY, map number 5, Keel, DK. Cipher gets a decent start there. Rockets, a little bit of delay on the Mega. And I like it, about 6 seconds there. So we should be seeing Cipher ready to pounce on this next heavy armor here if he can grab LG and all the weapons that he wants.
Yeah, are we going to be very furious in this? GARPY can hear him up at the top, so he's not going to press the issue any further. 5 seconds till Heavy. GARPY's nearby.
Ooh, treble.
There's the Heavy armor up. GARPY going to look for a little bit of damage on it, but going to go up the bounce pad. Really dangerous. Gets a good flame strike off at the same time. Here's the rocket jump up. Cypher looking to pick up an advantage early. GARPY is down there, gets himself the mega health, and looks to be escaping too, but with only a fraction of HP. And we're going to get the full chase going on. There's the rail shot. Cypher, first blood, map 5.
I'm very glad that at Mega he didn't drop down and try and chase and grab the Mega out from under GARPY. He played very patient and he played that very, very well. Good job to Cypher getting the first frag here. A little bit of damage coming out from GARPY, but Cypher's going to be able to back off without issue.
If we're going to get a punish here from GARPY, you might be hearing him in a second with those ammo crates being picked up. Cypher approaching this delicately. HMG is a big weapon for him.
Gingerly,
as well.
Would you say he's approaching it gingerly?
But potentially at that level, yes.
Swap to rail. Can he find it? As the rails come out from both players, there's a little bit of flame strike. Great rail from GARPY there. And then here come the pineapples. Need to be careful of that citrus. There's a great rail from Cypher, but another one from GARPY sends him packing towards the Mega.
Definitely a one fight for GARPY. Even with mega health taken from Cypher, goes up the bounce pad, doesn't take that damage. The range still affecting the lightning gun. It's going to be a light armor for Cypher to take. I think GARPY was trying to make that jump across. Misses.
That could have been a lot of damage too.
Oh yeah. And there's a huge rocket that GARPY just hit. Cypher's in a little bit of trouble at the moment. It's very difficult for him to put pressure on the Heavy. And I think he needs to play for the mega health and play the slow game. GARPY's going all the way around, so he's taking the extra HP. Heavy's up, and Cypher might not have realized it. He moves right past it, and he's just realized now, so he's got the timing back on, which is a positive, but a big missed opportunity for him.
That could be soul-crushing as GARPY played super aggressive, tried to attack the Mega first, leaving the Heavy up. Cypher didn't realize, and GARPY gets both items for free, and Cypher's got to be shaking his head like, I can't believe he got away with that.
Yeah, Cypher could have done a little drive-by to get that item. Got a rail. LG to try and close it out a bit. Watch out for the pineapple behind him. GARPY's still got a stack to work with. And there's 3 health for Cypher to work with. Heavy's going to get taken by GARPY, and I think he's going to be on the hunt. He's even taken the light armor away to begin with. We'll find him.
Rail.
It's not going to push him off, though. Cypher's going to have to be creative with how he escapes. He's not even going for that other 25 HP bubble, so it might put him into a dangerous zone, but now he's in trouble. He almost bounces him out of the map completely. 49 health left for Cypher. GARPY still has a stack to work with, but wants to continue that control. It's still early in the map, so you don't need to put yourself out of position too hard right now. We can see how carefully Cypher's got to approach all of these engagements.
Absolutely incredible how he stayed alive there. The rockets and the flame strike, perfect, and GARPY's like, this isn't worth my time, I'll be back. He's pushing in through the stairwell right now. Needs to be careful. A little bit of tri-ball preemptively from Cypher, trying to keep him at bay. GARPY with another great rail from behind. Just when Cypher turns around and thought that GARPY gave up the chase, he keeps hitting these rails and absolutely sending Cypher packing. And there's a great jumping rail. Takes him out 1-1. What a shot by GARPY.
This control is very, very scary for GARPY. And I'd like him to actually delay the Heavy a little bit now, because then he can get a really kind of even keel on the items.
I see what you did there. That was fantastic.
I didn't.
well done. 1-1.
I'm having fun, 40.
I'm glad. It's a nice day out for someone, isn't it?
Absolutely.
1-1 as we are almost at the 5-minute mark, and GARPY's stack is just so monstrous here. And the flame strike, is this going to be enough? Oh! And the mutual comes out. What a bounce from Cypher. And that's pretty much exactly what he needed. That stack was way too huge to handle.
That is crazy business right there. GARPY's going to try and make a play quickly to get on the Heavy. What are we going to have going on over here? We've got Lightning Gun ready for Cypher. It's very difficult for GARPY to push any further. Cypher's neutral frag is buying him so many chances, and he's put himself back in the lead from all of that. The work has to be done all over from GARPY.
Great pineapple, though, as he's going to push in with the rockets as well. The flame strike is up for Cypher. It's a great rail. A little bit of pineapple action to push him back, but GARPY's reeling from that fight. Can't really stick around for this Mega. There's a preemptive flame strike from Cypher to keep him away. GARPY's still extremely hurt, trying to get away.
I feel like there's a world where Cypher could punish even more and extend his lead, but there's a lot of respect being given in this. Holding onto that control I mean, this is such a crucial and decisive map. GARPY pushed back down, the rocket's good, and there's the follow-up rail with 4-2 at the moment. And on a map like Molten, this is so much to do in 4 minutes. 2 frags doesn't seem like a lot, but it can take a lot of work to achieve this as a comeback.
A little bit of LG tickle there from GARPY, but yeah, a lot of work to be done, and he doesn't have the stack that he once did. He is going to fight for this heavy. There's the LG out. Cypher's going to have to back away there. Can't fight for that heavy, and that's going to be a good start for GARPY to try and get back in on this.
He needed to get the control back immediately. He's been able to do that. So step 1 has been hit by GARPY. Step 2 is get that mega health as well. And then you've somehow got to lock down Cypher, somehow place a great trap. Gonna spot him, and he hits it. GARPY's rails have been pretty immaculate. Unfortunately, he'll miss the follow-up, but he's been able to put on a lot of pressure with that weapon.
3 minutes, 30 seconds, 2 frags for GARPY, fighting to keep his spot in the Quake Pro League. Cypher trying to break on through to the other side here. There's a great flick rail from Cypher. Is he gonna go for another one? Waiting patiently, GARPY moving up. There's the rocket right to his face. And he's gonna jump in. There's a flame strike, there's the pineapple. Barely staying on the map there. And what a rail dropping down. GARPY takes him out by the 225s.
Just, wow, what a shot there from GARPY. Giving himself time to get over towards the heavy armor. And predictably, Cypher is out of there. He does not want to be involved in these shenanigans for the time being. It's up to GARPY to try and shut this down. He's got 15 seconds till the mega health spawns. This is the time he has really to put on any damage to Cypher.
Absolutely stacked like pancakes, has plenty of time to find this frag, potentially more, and Cypher has to be so careful. He's going to show up to this mega. This could be everything. 2 quick rockets into the LG. Can he find him around the corner? Cypher fighting for his life here with the LG. There's the pineapple. Is it going to be enough? And the LG takes him out finally as GARPY has 35 HP after that fight. That was so much damage from Cypher.
Oh, Cypher's the one who gets himself onto the major item, though. This is still dangerous for GARPY. He's got to be defensive. That's a great rail. That's going to push him off the other side. And he can get himself the next light armor. We've got 5 seconds until the mega health. Can he hold on to this? Cypher's got the lower position. Pineapples to come down. Not too bad damage. Cypher won't chase up the bounce pad. This is very, very intense as a tie-breaking map.
Absolutely going the distance. 2 minutes left, tie game. And this is all for relegation. Are we going to see New Blood enter the league, or are we going to see GARPY defend his spot? Great rail from Cypher. He wants more. There's a pineapple. There's a rocket. There's a rail. Cypher will land at 5-4. 1 minute 40 left on the clock.
GARPY, though, he's pretty stacked off the spawn. Cypher's putting himself quite far out there. We've got rockets coming down once again, but there's been a light armor taken. Mega health is up at the moment. Lightning Gun is such a good weapon to defend this position, but there's a mid-air. Can he find one more? Cypher gets onto the mega health. GARPY will be able to get out of there, but there's so little for him to work with.
That was such a huge fight for Cypher. Did the damage, got the mega, got out. He's going to get the heavy in with about a minute left. GARPY is crippled and needs to figure out his life. This is for everything. This is for the spot in the league, and all the pressure's on GARPY.
It all amounts to this. 5 seconds till mega health. GARPY can't really challenge this. Cypher won't go up the bounce pad. There'll be the nice little free light armor for GARPY, but he needs like 2 more of those. And he needs to force a fight in 45 seconds.
GARPY just waiting for an opening. There's a little bit of rocket damage, and this is not the opening he wants, but it's the opening he needs to take here. 30 seconds, just a little bit more. As he drops down, the flame strike comes out. That's going to be a great defensive play from Cypher, and he still has huge stack remaining. 30 seconds. GARPY jumping down the stairs there. Cypher catches him out early for the information. The LG comes out. The mega is going to be available to him for his disposal as well. 20 seconds. Is this it, Zoot? Are we going to see New Blood enter the arena? There's a great rail keeping GARPY extremely low, and he can't engage, but he has to. He doesn't have a chance.
This is it, 10 seconds to go. The Heavy's right behind GARPY. He's got so little to work with, but he's got to force his way through everything to just try something here. 2 seconds to go. Cypher has won. He made it.
Wow. Cypher, it didn't look good at the beginning of the series.
I mean, 2-0 down. Unbelievable. I think we have got Jorah up on stage ready to talk to Cypher.
Well done and congratulations, Cipher. That was incredible. Talk to me a little bit about the final map where you managed to get the ring out. How important was that moment?
Yeah, I missed out with the Mega a bit, and he did a good move, but he jumped in the bad way, and he managed to give me opportunity to actually.
This moment obviously means a lot to you. How hard have you had to work, and how long has this journey been for you to now make it and earn your spot in the Quake Pro League?
Yeah, it's already 8 weeks we are playing challengers, and it was really messy. We were practicing a lot. There was like a really good competition in challengers between me and the other guys. Yeah, it was long, I would say.
And how are you feeling about your general level and how things are going specifically in your tournament so far? Are you feeling good? Is your level all right, or are we going to see even more?
I hope you will see even more, because at the moment I'm struggling a lot with few moments and with my thinking-wise game. So I hope I will be better next stages.
All right, well,